12th of March 2020, Sergey Baklikov. Hello everyone. I keep my video blog rolling. Today, this morning, I came to the town of Sosnovy Bor, Leningrad Region, about 70 kilometers far from St Petersburg, Russia. Sosnovy Bor, this is Russian for pinery or pine forest, and really the town is literally located along the pine forest and the embankments of the Gulf of Finland. Small town with a population of about 70,000 residents. The main place here is definitely the Leningrad nuclear power plant, which provides the energy for a whole Leningrad region. Also here is located an institute of atomic energy. Having one of the biggest nuclear power plants in Europe, the town is restricted for foreigners, requires a special permission for foreigners to visit. Another significant place of Sosnovy Bor is the cathedral of the icon of the Mother of God, which is made in experimental neo-constructivism style, which is not typical for an Orthodox architecture. And this morning I came to the administration of the town of Sosnovy Bor because today here starts the temporary exhibition from the museum, St Petersburg Museum of the Brotherhood of War, which is called Let It Never Be the War in the World. Most of military people, they want nothing but just peace on our planet. And this exhibition is going to show this. Let's check it out. This temporary exhibit in the Hall of Administration of Sosnovy Bor is presented by the Museum of the Brotherhood of War, which is powered by the Center of Patriotic Education in St Petersburg called Leningradsky Dobrovolets, Leningrad's volunteer. This center organizes events for a patriotic education of youth in St. Petersburg, Leningrad region, and all over Russia too, connecting people who are thinking and caring for the faith of their motherland of Russia. Museum expositions tells about participation of Soviet and Russian volunteers and soldiers in wars and military conflicts as on a territory of Russia, as in the frames of support for friendly countries. This exhibit is a part of the museum, an example of how its collections touring all over the country. Exhibit tells us about the years of the siege of Leningrad during yet World War II, as about more later conflicts like Afghanistan, Chechen Republic, Donbass and Syria. The collection of only real items from all over there, weapons, uniforms, household, personal belongings and photographs. Like this part of the exhibit presents the personal belongings of the leaders of Donbass volunteers like Alexander Zakharchenko, Mikhail Tolstych, known as Givi, Arsen Pavlov, known as Motorola, and Alexei Mozgovoy. All are recently killed in the result of continuous war in Donbass. Also here presented so-called trophies, the stuff which was belonging to the mercenaries of the opposite sides of different military conflicts where Russia was involved. Another part of exhibit is the pictures drawn by children who lived in the war zones, how they seen the war and how they wished for a peaceful life. The weird pictures of war together with a positive pictures of peaceful times and happy family life. The creators of the museum from one side wants to save up the memory about the soldiers and volunteers of those local conflicts, from another side to show how weird is any military conflicts, how much suffers and misery it is carried to people. Their biggest wish is the war to stay just behind the glass of the shelves of the museums like this. The founders of Patriotic organization and this museum are former soldiers and volunteers of local conflicts themselves, and like nobody else, they knows how weird it is all. and wish there never be the war in the world. That's why it is called Let It Never Be the War in the World. Leningrad's volunteer Patriotic Center also helps the former soldiers to socialize in the civilian life after war, because unfortunately a part of society, like in all countries, often kind of prejudice to the former soldiers who participated in war. As you saw in the beginning of the video, the town of Sosnovy Bor is located on the embankment of the Gulf of Finland, which is actually a part of Baltic Sea. Now on the way back home I decided to stop here and to finish the video on this wonderful scenery. Hope you enjoyed the video. Comment, like, subscribe, and peace. Peace for the whole world from Russia.